It's Tuesday, September 20th. I'm GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Welcome to the National Outlook. We keep talking about the interview between the conversation between Vice President Jagdeo and Kaieteur publisher Glenn Lal from last Tuesday. Yesterday we talked about the government's role and what it should do and what it's not doing. Today we focus on Mr. Jagdeo himself. It's very difficult for me, I don't know if you notice, folks, for me to mention the Vice President's name. He's the most senior political officer tribune in this land. And for any citizens to be put in this place where they have difficulty in mentioning a top leader's name, something is really wrong there. And I don't think that anything is wrong with me. Mr. Jagdeo came before in the Kaieteur studio and he walked with his entourage, and that's a good thing. I applaud him. I applaud him for taking the step. But what was interesting, what was revealing, is how he conducted himself. I thought that he got down into the gutter. He became a snarling, thug-like presence. Good Lord, man. You're a national vice president. You're not the vice president of some cake shop. You're not the vice president of the Chamber of Commerce. You're the vice president of the nation of Guyana of 780,000 people. It is that when straight answers should be given to straightforward questions, you've got this ring around the circle and running around and going all over the place. You know, my brothers and sisters listening here, that if you are sitting across from a man dealing in ordinary business transactions or a question, and you get the sense that he's not telling you the whole story or the whole truth, or as much as you should know, he's holding back something, that something is wrong and it is with him. Why is it that this impression comes in how Mr. Jagdeo dealt with the questions posed to him in that interview? Where do you stand on taxes? Where do you stand on royalties? Where do you stand on getting a better deal? You, the vice president. The vice president in this country. The vice president, we all know the vice president is bigger than the president. Come on, folks. Let's take off our party hat. Let's put on our Guyana hat. When the government and the vice president develop the courage, develop that determination to say, this is our oil and we're going to have the most that we can get out of it, whilst Exxon still makes a handsome profit, then we know we're in good hands. But when we get these long, meandering, dodging all over the place answers, you realize that if somebody does that to you in real life at arm's length, face to face, that they've got problems. That perhaps they're not up to the best that is for the relationship. And when the vice president is examined for how he did in that interview, his body language, his facial expressions, his verbal expressions, what comes across was a man who has things to hide and things that he prefers not to say. This is our oil. Tell us the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Unless he does so, unless the PPP government does so, we are doomed to get nothing from this oil. Nothing but the crumbs and the scraps. I'm GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1, 99.5 FM. You are listening to the National Outlook.